stakes are too high for you to stay home.
Great. So, good morning, world, and welcome to the Rektoff, your definitive podcast guide to the world of smart contract security and Web3 security research. I'm your co-host Gregory, bringing you the latest market insights, discussions about recent hacks, and the most thought-provoking issues facing our space today. In this podcast, we strive to create an informative atmosphere where professionals, smart contract security engineers, cybersecurity professionals, white-hat hackers, and researchers can gather and engage with the cutting-edge topics of Web3.
Today with us, Peter is experienced developer and blockchain security expert, co-founder of Oxorio, one of the leading blockchain audit firm, and also genesis builder of Mary Labs, team behind ZKSync, the startup that successfully closed huge fundraising round and launched zero-knowledge solution for the Ethereum ecosystem. It is a pleasure to meet you here.
Yeah, hello. Nice to be there. Hey, guys.
Pleasure. So, Peter, as we are delving deeper into the world of Web3, it seems to me that, like just any groundbreaking tech, it comes with a unique set of challenges. Security in particular strike me as something we constantly need to stay ahead of, especially in the blockchain area, where a breach could bring serious losses, as we know from previous hacks. So, from your perspective, what are the biggest problems and challenges we're facing in Web3 security right now?
Yeah, so that's why I'm working in Web3 security. The biggest problem is the lack of skilled security professionals who understand Web3 in depth. So this is a main thing. So this is very new technology and not too many people who deeply understand how it works under the hood. And usually you have to be a very good technical guy who know everything from the low-level things like how consensus working under the hood, some economical models as well, and of course has to be a very good architecture to build very secure solutions.
How would you describe the situation with the latest last couple of years of new talents coming to the market? How would you describe how much more people are interested right now in Web3 security rather than it was like 3 years ago, let's say?
For sure, with every crypto summer, so many good people come in, and during the crypto winter, everyone who take the time and they can survive it, we gain much more experts in this field. And comparing to the 3 years, now the situation is much better. It's not something very exotic. It's still hard to find experienced people, but since the technology is already so we can easily there is a 3 or 4, 5 times more people on the market with the same skills. So situation getting better with the time.
Sounds good. Thank you for your answer.
Mm-hmm.
Peter, with all fascinating, sometimes a bit scary things happening in our industry, there have surely been some standout moments, right? Those hacks that make you go like, wow, how did they pull it off, or I can't believe that happened. Could you share with us most fascinating blockchain hack that you have come across and why it made such an impression on you?
Well, for sure, I think one of the most fascinating is one of the most famous. It's hack of DAO hack, because that leads the simple misunderstanding of order of the checks leads of losing of $15 million, which was huge amount of capitalization of Ethereum that leads the hard fork of Ethereum. So that was one of the biggest thing. The second one was when that name that I accidentally killed when parity multi-sig was hacked by randomly called suicide function that was public. So this very ridiculous, simple and basic hacks that was happened, but still with the biggest impact. And what we can see even now, most of the hacks are very basic and very simple to implement, and we going back to the lack of the security experts in this field. That's why most of the hacks are quite simple. And maybe the third one that I want to mention, the recent one from Tornado Cash, how hacker took control of the governance from Tornado DAO by creating like malicious proposal with one extra method that shouldn't be there. But that attack was quite complex. It was not easy to understand that simple small function can lead so much consequences. Yeah.
I think we will talk about it more deeply later. So yeah.
Yeah, that brings that we are just really early right now. That comes to my mind. That's security is very, like, it's still a very big issue in Web3, and yeah, we still have a lot of things to do with you right now here. True. So my next question is, so we all know you as a co-founder of Matter Labs and known for creating ZKSync. So, but I'm really interested in the journey that led you there. So could you share a little bit about the story behind why and how you ended up founding Matter Labs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, back to 2017, so many people start to work on scaling after like CryptoKitties happening and transaction Ethereum start to cost about $30. So many advanced developers start to work on scaling solutions. So our team, along with Alex Vlasov later, like Alex Gluchovsky also join us, we start to work on scaling solution. First, it was Plasma protocol. Later, we found all together with Vitalik Buterin in Singapore that Plasma was broken, and there was issues with the mass exit that named like this mass exit problem. That so it's impossible to implement really stable and decentralized Plasma solution. So people start to work on different approaches, how to scale. One of them is ZK rollups, and that's what Matter Labs started doing. Another approach is optimistic rollups. That was like Plasma team, previously Plasma team, now it's optimistic team working on. So that's how it's happening. It was crypto winter. It was quite tough and not as easy to survive and get some funding. We started from Ethereum grant. They just support ZK research. Later we found seed round later. And after it started to be much more obvious that was right direction to grow. Yeah. So that's how it started.
Thank you for your answer. Yeah, that's very interesting, actually. Yeah. So,
what is the are you contributing right now in the ZKSync, or you are kind of like chairman in the company?
I did exit 2 years ago at Series A round, so I decided that I want to work on more broader spectrum of the things, like what we do now. We do security research and audits for many companies, and we are not limited to work only in one technology with only one team. So yeah, now I'm happy to work with different, like with top tier projects like LiDAR, 1inch, and other ZK projects. So I decided to make an exit and extend my knowledges and to get in touch with many different projects. So now I'm not currently involved into Matter Labs anymore, but it was quite nice experience before.
Great. So as we start talk about ZK, I think it would be very interesting that we all be watching evolution of smart contract development, right? And it seems like Rust is gaining some ground against Solidity and also in the zero knowledge advanced programming. I'd like to hear your thoughts to this, and what do you think the future holds for Rust-based smart contract compared to Solidity?
Yep. So Rust offers performance and safety advantages, which makes it a very attractive choice for smart contracts. I think it will be the next language, and most of the ZK libraries are based on Rust. At Oxorio, we handle audits for Solidity smart contracts mostly, but we also include our Rust into our spectrum, because I think this is a very perspective thing to do. But for now, most of the projects working on Solidity, and we have to deal with this. It's very hard to just migrate everyone. So everyone mostly work on EVM-based blockchains. But I believe that different Rust-based blockchains like Cosmos, like Polkadot, and with Substrate ecosystem and Near have a huge potential to grow.
Yeah, I have a question to you. What, to your opinion right now, what is the share of Rust-based contract projects to EVM projects? Is it like 5% of Rust and 95% of EVM, or even more? Yeah, what would you say?
Yeah, it's very hard to tell this thing, but I think it's around 5%, maybe even less. If we compare to the total TVL metrics, because there are not too many things happening there in terms of economical side. From technical side, I think it's about 20%. From economical, it's less than 5%. It's my
True. Yeah, I think this will change with the time, definitely. But my take personal is it will take at least, I think, 5 to 10 years for Rust-based contracts to gain more ground against Solidity contracts, but at least. But we'll see. Yeah, but I believe in ZK scaling solutions, and it's mostly in Rust. So yeah, I think this will be the future. So I have a next question. So could you walk us through one of the most challenging audit cases that you've dealt with in Oxorio? I'm also curious about the key takeaways from that experience, and what did you learn from that?
Well, one of the recent audits was one of the hardest and more fascinating and interesting. We did recent audit of recent update of LiDAR, where they implemented unstaking feature. So it was a huge. There are so many layers of consensus, of oracles, of smart contracts involved into this architecture. So there are so many things, also on-chain part, off-chain part. You have to synchronize all of them and know how they are behave in such different behavior. So it was challenging. Most of our team was involved into this project fully for 2 months, and even to keep everything in your head is not that easy. But we found so many things that even LiDAR research team missed, and we're proud of that. So other auditors also found their own findings. So it's interesting that so many auditors found their own findings that nobody else found, and we get a lot of new experience how to deal with these situations, and I hope we can continue to work with the liquidity staking protocols. This looks like this is a next big thing that will be grow with the time. But LiDAR, for sure, they are one of the experts. They take so much attention to security and architecture, and we appreciate it.
Thank you for your answer. Yeah, I have another question. It just comes to my mind that working for 2 months straight on one project, on one code base, sometimes can be overwhelming. It can be sometimes very hard to focus on one thing for that long. I wonder how your team keeps motivated? Like, is it finding critical? Is that the main thing that makes you like motivated, or maybe something else? What do you think about that?
Oh, you get the point. It's very hard.
Okay.
If you do audit more than 1 month, it's very hard to not to burn out. So we provide to our auditors some time to get rest, to do whatever they want to do. Someone want to code, someone want to write the articles, or just switch the project to just relax a little bit. So, but the team say that they are really like, because they are feeling that they do something very valuable. Their audits, they are working with the cutting edge technology, and one of the best teams. So they are feel very excited about it, and everyone say that they are happy that they have opportunity to do this. It's much better than just to audit some like small tokens or NFT or anything else. So this is a big thing that everyone like, but for sure they have to rest after.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely. Thank you for your answer. Yeah.
Okay, I know that a lot of our listeners are curious about hackathons, right? As we met on one of them, and as we know, you have a great experience with them in the past. From your perspective, what do you say are main benefits or dive into a hackathon, right? And while we're on the subject, do you have any insider tips or how to come out on the top? I'm sure our listeners would love to hear some winning strategies from your experience and expertise.
Yeah, good question. So for sure, yeah, hackathons offer opportunities to learn new skills, networking, like to like do showcase for your abilities and everything. But the most thing for me as a like mostly like working like it's not like technical like a business guy. Now I can see what's going on the market, and I have opportunity to talk with the founders directly on these hackathons. This is one of the things. In terms of winning of hackathons, yeah, like before I used to be like a serial winner of hackathons. I won maybe 8 of 12 hackathons that I participated before. Now I just stopped to do this because like looks like you can do some more valuable things. You can go and get a grant or help to other projects or build your own project. But what I can like the tips maybe to newcomers is to talk more with the judges and other sponsors on hackathon. It gives you much more understanding what they expect from the teams, what they want to see in the end. Another thing, they will remember you if you go and talk directly with the sponsors and they remember you. They're much more probability that they will give you a better score in the end when they judge, because they don't have too much time to judge, and for them it's much easier to remember you and evaluate your project if you have a time to talk with them before. Yeah, that's the things that I do, and I've been on both sides as a judge and participant. And as a judge, I also feel how it works. If I see that people are interested into this, they are talking, not just going into their laptop and just coding. Yeah, it gives much more points for teams who do this. Another thing, don't come to the hackathons with the projects that you already worked before. It's very bad practice. It's disrespect to other teams. Maybe you will win it, but in the end, people don't like it. And if you judge, they will see that you didn't it just on this hackathon. It's not good. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for the answer. Right.
Yeah, I think I have a question regarding the hackathon submissions. Like you just said that it's not good to work on the project before. That's understandable. But at the same time, is there any policy from the hackathon organizer that ban to like, or they can check it somehow before the submission that you worked on the project? Maybe they can see the date of the creation of the code or something like that. Or what do you think about that?
It's very easy to change the date, and usually judges don't have too much time to check everything, but usually you can see like if this project is new baked project or it's just old one. Yeah.
True. So I have a next question to you. So I wanted to touch on the case about last year's Tornado Cash situation. So it really shook up the industry. And I know many open source developers, they have voiced concerns about this case and their own safety. So it seemed that it's not safe to release open source code anymore. So you've had a personal connection with Alex Percev. Could you share more about how you get to know Alex and shed some light on the Set Alex Free movement?
Yeah, I came to know Alex Percev through the crypto community. We also participate in several hackathons together. And I was deeply affected by his arrest, because this is the common space where we are working on, and looks like there is no reason to just catch the person who work as a developer. That's why it's led to launch this Set Alex Free movement and this organize this community. And we try to support and advocating the open source development and privacy rights. That's the thing that I'm try to keep and help to understand people what is it, because if people start to scare to develop into open source, it will be a disaster for the whole industry.
Yeah, so my next question is that Tornado Cash governance hack, it just happened not long after the release of its core developer. And from your perspective, just hypothetically, is there any connection between these events, or do you think the hack was just a random occurrence?
Yeah, of course, it's just happens. There is a when Alex the Tornado Cash hack happens closely in time that there is no clear evidence, or and I know that Alex don't even touch anything that related to Tornado for obvious reason, and I don't think that it's somehow related to each other. It's also happened during the privacy hackathon in Amsterdam, which was also very funny, but I think it's just consequences.
Got your point. Thank you.
Okay, so question for myself. I've been pondering this transition from Web 2 and Web 3, especially from cybersecurity standpoint. There is a whole new set of rules we're playing by. I'd really love to know, get your thoughts on this. Can you break down for us the differences between Web 2 and Web 3 from cybersecurity perspective?
Well, in Web 3, there are much more impact. Every line of code can impact millions of dollars. It's barely occurred in the Web 2 hacks that we can see, and it's much easier to fix. The expertise in blockchain technology is you have to, I don't know how to like explain. Yeah, the difference. Let's say it's just a new technology, and there are not too many standards for the Web3 security, because all the hacks are very basic most of the time, and you need just to take much more attention to logic that and how you write the code. So this is a thing.
Okay, and I remember when we talked at EASDAM earlier this spring, you mentioned that something about Oxorio branching out into traditional cybersecurity. So you want to expand on some more features that got me really interested. Could you give us a bit more insight into this expansion? What's the strategy and how you guys planning on making it happen?
Yeah, so now all the blockchain solutions become much more complex than before, and they usually involve in so much like backend, front-end logic, and also oracles and other parts. Sometimes it's nodes that work in. So we see the demand of covering not only smart contract security, but also the whole infrastructure around the smart contracts. So that's why we build a new development, a new department, and our top quality experts can find a lot of issues from the traditional penetration testing things, and they can help to new projects to become much more secure.
Okay, thanks. It's nice to hear about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we are nearing the end of our chat, and I wanted to touch on something that might pique the interest of many listeners. So you're a co-founder of Oxorio again, and I'm sure there's a lot of talent out there curious about potential opportunities in the leading blockchain audit company. So could you give us some details on job openings at Oxorio that you might bring to the public? Are you especially on the hunt for auditors right now?
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's surprisingly that now we are close all the Solidity auditors positions, thanks to crypto winter. Yeah, so there actually so many good people start to look for a job, but we still look at, if you're like a rock star and you're a very good Solidity auditor, you're welcome to come to us and to talk. We don't have open position, but the rock stars are always welcome because we like to work with the smart people. And also we are looking for now, mostly we start to focus on other part, like from business development part. Now mostly I'm doing this business and I'm looking for other guys who can help us to talk about the security on the conferences, find the new great projects to work with, and I try to find the guy who can talk as from the Oxorio with the people. So, and also it's not marketing, it's mostly SMM, like working with the social media. If you are a good technical writer, you know how to write the nice articles, how to work with the crypto Twitter. You are also welcome to, we have open position for business development SMM as well, because I personally don't like to chat and do all the social media stuff, but I understand the importance of that, because for now people know about Oxorio just because of the conferences where I've been, and we want to make solid brand, and this is essential part, not only the technical thing. So you're welcome to help us with the technical articles, with the social media or business development. Welcome to keep in touch. And
I have a feeling, just my personal opinion, I have the feeling that you're the person who is more interested in focusing on technical things, on exploring new protocols, on doing this kind of stuff, and you like this much more than doing a lot of boring business things. It's my personal opinion. I don't know how is it true or not?
Yeah, actually, you're right. I spend most of my time to explore the new technologies, but for now, because of so many business tasks, I don't have too much time to do this, but I want to dive into the new things and work on that more. That's why we are growing and looking for more people. And that's correct. I have technical background, and do business part. But I like to make connections between good companies, and that's why I do in business. But it's all about the technical thing in the end.
Yeah, and do you have these positions open on the website, or the people can just DM you on Twitter or Telegram? What's the best way to communicate with you?
Actually, I think we just post today maybe business development vacancy and SMM. Yeah, they can easily check our website or DM. We are open for new connections anyway.
Great. Thank you for sharing. And the last question is one of the most fundamental, I would say, and the global one. And so the last question from us today is we are here in 2023, and it's incredible to think how much has changed in Web3 security world since the beginning. So what is your take on the state of Web3 security right now in 2023? What is your vision, and what are the main opportunities right now? So would love to hear some alpha on this.
Yeah, that's a good question for like crypto winter. I am also looking for like what will be the next big thing, the next crypto summer. My point, I think the DAOs will develop much more functionalities than they have now, and will become much more advanced thing. So liquid staking protocols also, that's the point where there's so many things you can improve. The new hype is account abstraction thing, like to have many identities and combine them in with other accounts is a good idea, and so many people working on this. Of course, privacy. So it's quite challenging to work on this, and of course, like governments don't like privacy that much, but it's essential part, and people people need some abilities to keep their privacy, how much money they have, and some basic privacy things they need. They have to. They need these tools to keep it with them, their privacy with them. So I'm looking for the new privacy tools that will appear on the market. For the scaling, I think now everything is fine. So we have so many good companies, and looks like this is already done. And for the bridges as well. So that's what already done. We have so many bridges, and it's not hard to scale your project or to send your money to other blockchains. So let's see what happens with identity, because for now it's very hard to manage all your crypto wallets, how to not mix your money from different kind of sources, how to check them, and so on. So I think a more advanced banking system, like accounting system, will also appear in this market. We need it because so many accounts, so many blockchains, and you have to manage it somehow in private manner. That's the point.
Okay, and I think the last question from my side, I want to know about the quantum computers and how they influence on the blockchain, because I know that Ethereum is kind of very scary about this kind of problem, and a lot of real knowledgeable people try to figure it out. And what do you think about the quantum resistant blockchain solution?
Yeah, well, there is post-quantum cryptography, and for example, ZK working on post-quantum cryptography, so they are already protected from these things. And quantum computers still have very limited abilities to solve. They can solve very specific things. So I think for now we still have time to work on this. But all the cryptographers know about this issue, and they start to port all the algorithms to post-quantum cryptography. I think not to, and what I can say, if a post-quantum computer can hack the hashing algorithms, I think blockchain will be not the biggest issue in general in our world. So everything will be broken, not only the blockchain. And the blockchain is only a small part of this.
Because as I know, it's kind of 90% of the internet based on RSA like signature or cryptographic algorithm, right? So I think this is the problem, that probably all the VAP built on that, on that, and so it's kind of a big problem.
Yeah, as well as whole economy. So the still blockchain is not the biggest economy thing that happens in our world. So, but as I say, like, I don't think that the quantum computer will be released quite soon. Still, they can compute very limited things, and that even RSA signatures is not the easiest thing to compute.
Thank you for the answer. Right.
Yeah, so, well, that wraps up another insightful episode of Rektoff. A big thanks to Peter for his time and the wisdom he shared today. So if you're thinking about dipping your toes in the exciting field, remember Oxorio is on the lookout for fresh talent. Join us next time for more deep dives into the world of Web3 security. Until then, this is your co-host Gregory.
And Yehor.
Yep.
Yeah, so stay safe.
Yep.
Yeah, stay curious. Let's keep pushing the boundaries of Web3 together.